One.
How do roots produce sap?
How do roots produce sap? Well, they have at the very, very tip of the root structure, very, very tip of the finger, they have very fine little branches that are out almost like the thickness of your hair. And they are absorbing water and minerals from the soil. Okay? And then that, they also make up in the leaves sugar.
Okay. So I'll just write the tips.
Will that work to write, or do you want something flatter to write?
It's okay.
Okay.
Question 2. Why does sap only flow down?
It doesn't. It flows both ways, up and down. What we're gathering in the spring is it going up into the tree and then coming back down and then back up again when it gets warm again.
Okay.
All right, so it's actually going this time of the year both ways. Up during the warm part of the day, and it comes back down when it gets cold. That's why we needed those cold nights we never got this year.
Yeah, not much.
No.
So, both. Or does it have to be for sap to flow during the day?
Well, a perfect sap day is well below freezing at night, down into the 20s.
Well, that's the next question.
Okay.
But in the day.
In the day, in the 40s and 50s.
So 40 to 50 degrees.
But there's a little more to that.
Okay.
There's a little more to that. We need it 40 and 50 by noontime.
Okay.
If it's 4 o'clock when it reaches that temperature, it's not going to run very long, because what goes down at 4 o'clock this time of the year?
Evening.
Right, the sun. And so it's going to start to cool off. So that's probably going to lead to your next question.
Yeah.
But we need that to happen by, I say, by the time you come to school, it should be above freezing. By the time 10 or 11 comes around, it needs to be in the 40s.
Okay.
For a perfect day.
40 to 50 by noon.
But there's more to it than that.
Oh. Okay. What else?
No wind. Maple trees are affected by wind chill, just like you and I are.
Okay.
They are a living thing. Even though they don't have a heart or eyes or a brain.
They still breathe.
Bingo. And they are affected by a chill. If we have a windy day, that will affect the run as well.
So it won't flow as much.
Bingo.
And usually, like, what you would find on trees, like dried up sap, that's from, like, a while ago. It's from, like, an earlier time. Okay, so...
And then your next question is night.
Yeah, at
How
night.
did I know?
Because I
At night, we need it below freezing. But not too cold. The 20s is perfect. But if it gets down around 0, we have a problem. It's going to take a long time to get back up to freezing. It's going to take a pretty amazing day for that to happen if it gets really cold.
Okay.
Okay? Now, remember that the sap run may take place over more than one day. If it doesn't get cold at night, it was cold, let's say, for tonight, it gets down into the 20s like we want it. But tomorrow morning, it takes, well, no, even lower, it gets down to like 10 degrees. But it doesn't get really above freezing until 4 o'clock, but it doesn't go below freezing overnight. It may run for a couple days from that initial cold spell.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
So...
But usually it's up and down.
Okay.
Night and day.
40 to 50
That's perfect.
degrees. And 20 to 30 degrees.
Yep.
Okay. How could you preserve sap so you could make it one winter and keep it for next winter?
People have tried to do that, and about the only way to do it is to freeze it solid.
Okay, that's what we tried.
And did it work?
Sort of.
Yeah, it's not very successful. Sap is pretty delicate because it's full of sugar, right? Well,
And
2%.
it loses a lot of sugar if it's just sap.
Yes,
It
right.
loses
You did the
it
thing with the
loses
ice.
Sugar, yeah, we
With
did
it-
that in class.
In class with the ice, and the ice will keep the sap cool. But as soon as the sap starts to warm up, bacteria starts to form in the sap. If you look right there at that barrel there that's been sitting here for part of the week, it's pretty green in there, and that's the bacteria in there.
And that's why, like, even if you just have like yellow sap, because this year my class had to pour out a whole bucket
Because it was yellow?
Yeah.
Was it at the beginning?
Second trip. probably.
Second trip, and did it clear up?
Yeah. And every time we go, my bucket gets full.
Full.
Yeah.
So you're on some good trees.
Yeah.
See what that
Yeah, we
bacteria,
lost 3 trees.
as that bacteria grows in the sap, and that takes warm weather to happen, like this is terrible weather for keeping sap. It eats up the sugar.
Yeah, it like takes the sugar in,
Right.
and then like just like has itself like die in there and just
and
eats
that's
itself.
and that's kind of where the green comes from when it turns green. Now, it's safe for us to boil it. Some people would say if there's bacteria in there, why can you make food out of it? Good question. Remember, we're heating it up to 219 degrees. That
And
kills any bacteria.
And I could see that you have like the first thing of syrup in there.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so